Welcome to the Grandstand Golf podcast. This is the weekend golf update for the WGC Dell Match play, the Corales Puntacana Championship, the Kia Classic, and the Club Card Championship. A full weekend of golf. I'm your host, Adam Baptiste, and as always, I'm joined by my brothers, Kevin.
How's it going?
And Craig. Oh yeah, no Craig tonight. Kevin, we have no Craig. He was so ashamed of his bracket, he just didn't show up for podcast.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, there wasn't much to be proud of there. I'd probably be hiding my head as well.
I think in our bracket challenge, he only had 40 points. He got two guys out of pool play.
But I did think with the sleeper call of Joel Dahmen, he might have shown his face, but
it wasn't enough, apparently. No, yeah. Craig's got high winds. He's got power outages, so we're going to power on, just the two of us. Kevin and myself will be here. It's going to be a quicker pod, but should we just jump into it?
There might be a few less analytics, a few less numbers. We're not necessarily the numbers guys here, but we'll try our best.
And long, continuous, thesis of whatever Craig does. I don't know. I never really listened to the end. Okay, Dell Match play I feel like was the big tournament of the week. So we had it was great. It started on Wednesday. We had a thrilling Friday afternoon where we had 8 playoffs from 16 groups, and then to me it just kind of sputtered over the weekend. So the average seed that made it out of group play into the Sweet 16 was 43. I mean, we're talking about seeds 1 to 64. The average seed was 43. Only one top 20 player made it out of this group. That's John Rahm. 7 players ranked 50th or worse. So the worst 14, 7 made it out of their groups. It ended up being Victor Perez, Billy Horschel, Matt Kuchar, and Scottie Scheffler making the final 4, and Billy Horschel defeating Scottie Scheffler in the final 2-1. So
what was kind of a pillow fight,
a little bit of a pillow fight. So Kevin, after all that, did Sunday underwhelm you for the WGC?
Yeah, it really did. Like it's such a cool format, and I think we were all psyched going into the event. Yeah. It's you get all these guys playing match play once a year pretty much, other than the team events, and it's exciting. Like on any day in any match, any one of these guys can take it. Yeah. And the pool play, it kind of adds a cool dynamic, I think, because just because a guy loses, he's not necessarily out right away, and it's intriguing that there's the way they do those where there's obviously a favorite because it's a top 16th guy in the world, and it's super exciting. And like on Friday, you get like you said, all this drama, and 8 of the groups are going to playoffs, but then after that it's kind of like, if some of your guys don't make it through those playoffs, or I had a few guys that made it through, but then lost they didn't make it to the round of 8, and then you're just kind of like, oh man.
And good names went through. You have Sergio, you have Tommy Fleetwood, like guys that contend in majors and are like up. Like, this is still the top 60-ish players, top 70 players in the world. So they're all great players, but the name recognition definitely dropped. Every single round a little bit.
Yeah. For all his accomplishments, Matt Kuchar isn't like a big draw anymore, and Spieth I had as my one and done pick. I was psyched, and then he lost in the first in the 16 there, and I think Rahm went out. Was in the 16 or the 8s that Rahm went out?
I think he faced Scheffler. I think that was in the, I don't know. Might have been
he faced Scheffler.
It's on Saturday, but
yeah. So that was my pick to win. He's gone, and then you just sort of like you kind of lose interest. I had some painting work to do around the house this weekend, and Sunday I was like, well, I'll kind of keep my eye on it, but
from Wednesday to Sunday, the day that I got out of the house and did more things was Sunday. Like, it was by far the least. I love match play. I love match play. We were texting, throughout the week. I absolutely love match play. I think it is different from what we get all year. The Ryder Cup and President's Cups are amazing, but this gets a deeper field. And the guy 64th, 50th, they might not make those teams, or they're likely not, especially the non-European internationals. They have fewer, I feel like more than the Americans or the Canadians, So we get this match play event. And the pool play is great because even if you lose on Wednesday, you're still completely in. I agree. The pool play, I think, is a great format.
So yeah, that was one thing we wanted to talk about. But yeah, I think we're both in favor of the pool play. I like the pool play.
I think I get why it's created to possibly get more of the big. Like, what happened this year is completely outrageous. Yeah, upsets always happen, but this year is off the board. I mean, crazy, and it won't be like this next year, I think. But yeah, you don't have the DJs, the ROMs, the JTs all being out on the first day, on Wednesday.
Yeah.
With the single elimination.
With a single elimination, yeah. I think there's some kind of element of, if you're traveling to this event, you want to get these guys to, they're the draw, let's face it. So you want to get these guys in front of the camera sort of as much as you can and get your money's worth. I wonder if it might be like, I guess they're always hoping for the heavyweight match on Saturday, Sunday, but like, some sporting events actually will have their finals on like a Monday, or like, I think like that's like how the Final Four does it. Yeah, like, or National Championship. Like, maybe that's a model they could look at where they have more matches going on the weekend. Maybe you bump the whole thing forward a day. And so, I was kind of just getting off work on Friday as all these matches were concluding, and I'm scrambling, trying to follow, like, I gotta check this before I like leave for home, and then like, get home, check it again, like, is anything still on worth watching? Like, so I didn't get to see kind of the best part, I felt like. Whereas if it's Saturday, you get a lot more eyes on it, and that's the
I
cool
actually
part,
love that. I haven't heard that at all on like golf Twitter. I love that because the people playing on Monday, it's only the Final Four. Yeah. They're not likely to play in the Texas Open or whatever is the next tournament, and they have time off before the Masters. If the schedule stays as is, it's. I mean, I guess if you have DJ and Rom in the final and it's Monday, but
you still get two matches you get the two matches anyways, right?
Set those up for prime time.
Yeah, so it sets it up for like prime time, so people get off work and
you're at least catching at least the back nine, I would think.
Yeah. So I'll give that idea to them for free.
Yeah, that's a freebie right there. Dell, you can take that one to the bank.
But do you want to talk about the course at all? Because I think the course is awesome for match play.
I mean, I think the course, I think it is awesome. I think there's tons of risk reward. It does seem a lot like the anti-Rory flip your wedge it seemed like a lot of short approaches. If it's a par 5 or if it's a par 4, I mean, I'm thinking of the front nine, especially where, they're bombing it down and it's carrying, like, people don't play the course how it's supposed to be played, but you just completely carry everything and you're sitting at the bottom of a hill with a 60-yard pitch shot on a par 4. I think that's number 9 or something, the kind of downhill one. But all in all, how it's set up, they flipped the 9s from the members to this one. I love it. I think 17 is crazy dramatic.
Yeah. I love 13 too. Or is it 12? The drive par 4 with the it's 13 with like the water, and then if they hit in the water, they got to hit off that little strip. Yeah. I love that.
And Sergio was nailing his drives.
I know. Sergio was stiffing it like every day.
Great.
And how about Sergio? Like, I don't know if we're going to talk much about Sergio, but how about him like walk off ace for the playoffs?
I don't know. I can't think of a sports moment that ended like that. Like the slim possibility of an ace. Like what are the odds? Like astronaut. Like Grand Slams happen in that, and you have a bat flip, but a walk off ace like in a match play in a playoff. You have to get to the third hole for just that to even happen.
Like, when would you ever see a walk-off? I guess, no, somebody did in a playoff. Who did it in that playoff in the...
In the desert, in Las Vegas.
Yeah, at the Shriners, right?
Yeah, I'm blanking now.
I'm totally blanking.
There's like a 5 or 6 person playoff, I think.
Yeah.
This is where we need Craig.
This is where we need Craig. But yeah, I mean, it's like that was one I was following... One of the ones I was following because I was pulling for Sergio to get through because I picked him in my bracket, and I found that the app was a little bit off this week. So especially early on, sometimes it'd say they we're on the green or something, and it's like, well, why isn't this hole finished yet? And then it's like, oh no, he was actually in the hazard and he dropped and he's back and it's like he had a 6 instead of a 3. It's like, what? So I'm looking at the Lee Westwood Sergio playoff, and it's like, oh, Westwood birdie, like, oh, that's gonna be tough. Ace, like, what? I'm trying to like confirm whether this actually just happened or not, and but that's the stuff, like, get that on the weekend so you get more eyes on it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess like the last question in terms of the match play format, do you want to see another event, a PGA event, go this way? I mean, we only have one in the calendar year, and then whatever team event we have at the end.
I would say yes. I like it. I think that it's the most relatable format in a lot of ways, because nobody, even though, you know, we all keep our own score. Yeah. When we play golf, like, if we're playing golf, not that our matches are ever very close, but if we were to be in like a match and we're both shooting like a good round or a bad round, it doesn't really matter if our match is close. You know, like, that's what we're playing. We're playing like, oh yeah, like I'm 1 up on Adam right now, or whatever it might be, and that's how people kind of play golf. You know, it's not necessarily the stroke play. But that said,
I don't think our match is as like Tiger Woods, Stephen Ames 9 and 8, but it might be closer to that than, I don't know, the final. I don't know.
Man, Brian Harmon almost could have pulled that off if he didn't he have like 8 birdies in a row or 9 birdies in a row? If he shifted that to the start of his round, he could have. Yeah, he could have maybe done something like that.
The one that we talked about on the podcast following the Tour Championship, I think there's got to be a solution to figure out that top 30, or, you know, make it 32, or make a play in for the top 30 for the Tour Championship, and maybe it's a I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. Final 8 bracket.
I think it's tough to have the FedEx Cup decided on that. Because there's that's
people
kind
are
of
talking about the PGA Championship, or I mean,
the PGA Championship to me is the I think to everybody is like the 4th major. So do something like give that an identity, because it used to be Glory's last shot. Yeah. Now it's just like
in the middle.
In the middle.
Yeah. It's like everyone's first.
It's like maiden. Now it's like Brooks's best shot. I don't know, like what do you even call it now? So yeah, you switch up something, like give that tournament an identity. I don't know, but I agree with you that we could use another one, and it could be another big event, because everybody looks forward to this. I think like lots of people love it. Yeah. And even though I think the problem is that if they have underwhelming Sundays like this, it's hard to kind of sell that to you know, the sponsors and whoever else is putting all the money up for these things.
I mean, my wife is a much non-golf fan for as much as I am a golf fan, but she did fill out a bracket. She was in our league. She picked Tommy Fleetwood, upsetting Bryson to get out of pool play. She got super invested over, like, she asked more questions this week about, like, wait, so if it's a triple bogey and a birdie, it's just still 1 up, right? Like, it's only still one. Like, she asked questions more on Saturday. Like, I got my phone out at one point and secretly recorded her when Tommy was on 18, because she got super into it. And I think you're right. It is absolutely relatable. I mean, yeah, you need a couple minute primer, or someone that's, you know, watched it before, but it's very easy to follow on. It's just a head-to-head match.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, all that said about the pros of match play, I guess the cons would be that a stroke play, 72-hole stroke play event, the cream does rise to the top with that, 100%. Because it's about consistency, and, you know, these guys kind of build their games for that. Yeah. So, you know, I understand why there's so many of those.
But if it's 1 out of 50, I don't really care.
Oh, I know. And let's face it, like, how many of these events are kind of like, you know, whatever.
Didn't Adam Scott say that? Like, he just goes up?
There's 12 or 15 that matter. Yeah. Like, and the rest, well, you know, other than your elevated events and your majors and the team events, like, the rest of them, you're kind of, if there's some guys in the, some of your boys or something that are making runs in them, it can be interesting. Otherwise, you can be like, whatever,
Well, I mean, look at the past month. So Arnold Palmer, like, great turnout, great tournament, building up to the Players. People are warming up for the Players. Players is huge. Okay, the 5th major, huge tournament, iconic venue. And then we get the Honda. I mean, we're the same format, and the Honda just kind of falls flat. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying switch that to match play, but I mean, you do get exhausted with, like, okay, it's a 4-day, 2-day cut.
Yeah,
that it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when your marquee names are Sung JM and yeah.
Sungjae's there. Of course Sungjae's there.
Yeah, Sungjae's everywhere. Come on, give me a break. Okay, should we move past match play, move past Austin Country Club?
I mean, do we want to talk about, like, we haven't really gone into the specifics of Billy winning?
No, let's talk about the leaderboard. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Billy?
Well, not really. I was pulling for Scheffler. I mean,
I was pulling for Scheffler too. I had Scheffler in the semis. I had him, I think, 3rd or 4th against Paul Casey, but hometown.
Yeah, I mean, win. hasn't had a win. It would have been a big win for him. Craig always keeps me in check with this, but I just don't really cheer for Billy that much. He thinks I feel like Craig sometimes tells me I should cheer for everybody. He's such a nice guy. So
he's not here. Now's our chance.
Now's our chance. Billy, I'm sorry, but he doesn't really do anything for me. There's nothing. I'm sure he's a nice guy and everything, but I don't know. I don't really find myself pulling for him very often, and I can almost say that every time he's in a match, I was kind of pulling for the other guy. Like Fleetwood kind of gave it away to him.
Yeah.
Which I was disappointed for your wife on that one, because I knew she was pulling hard for Fleetwood. And at the end, Scheffler, definitely he was who I was pulling for sure. But that match was like, didn't they make the last birdie was on like
it was a chip in.
Like one birdie?
Yeah, like, I think that was it. I don't know. I was in and out a little bit. Like it didn't draw me in, and part of it is just like how my day shaped up, but part of it is definitely the Final Four. Yeah, I kind of agree. Like Billy Horschel, I'm not cheering against him, but depend in match play. I guess you have to cheer for someone, but like in stroke play, I don't go out of my way to cheer against him. But he's not the first guy I'm like, let's go Billy, like bring it home.
Yeah.
He seemed like a great competitor, like in terms of.
He's very
I wish
consistent.
he was giving me putts. Like,
yeah.
Very nice, great competitor. It seemed like a good match. The sneaking up on the ball, like, I mean, I get how people will get frustrated with Patrick Cantlay, but sneaking up on the ball is kind of just as bad, I think. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. So yeah, I was rooting for Scottie.
He looks really strong. I don't know that. He's got that going for him.
No, he's super fit. And then Scottie Scheffler seems like he gets outfitted with like clothes that are a little bit too big, and he rolls up and shows he had like 2 practice.
And he's sliding his feet around. You're like, this is this is a guy I could get on board with.
Is this guy wearing spikes? And then he goes out like your buddy that shows up and then shoots 63. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Another thought I had on Billy Horschel was, so in that Fleetwood matchup, when Fleetwood hit it out of bounds was that the playoff hole or was that?
Yeah, I think they went to 12. I think the par 5 as their 19th.
So it was funny because the camera, for whatever reason, decided to follow Billy while they were searching for the ball. I was like, doesn't seem to be looking that hard. Like, he's kind of like, oh, should I look over here? Over here? Yeah. Okay, I'll look over here. Wasn't really looking. Can't blame him, but I
also did. As former maintenance people, it's very clear who has not worked maintenance on golf Twitter. Because like, what are they in a junkyard? I'm like, that's where the maintenance people hang out. Like, that's where they keep all their crap.
Yeah, that's why it looks so good out there.
Yeah, that's why it looks good.
There's got to be an underbelly somewhere. Come on.
Yeah. Okay, Kuchar Perez. I mean, I was rooting for Perez. He doesn't have a PGA Tour card. He could have got special exemption.
Yeah.
With
a third. He was a guy we were talking before. I think we, in our pre-match play pick'em, we all picked a different guy coming out of that group.
Well, yeah.
And Victor was the one guy that nobody took. So, our bad, Victor. All right.
But
respect.
I will say on the Tuesday show with Craig, I did say, you know what? I end up with 20% Victor Perez, and Craig's like, how? I'm like, it just fit. He just fit into lineup. So I was a little happy. I was cheering for him pretty hard on the weekend.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping he could snatch that consolation final, but I guess hats off to Kuchar. He's kind of came out of nowhere. I haven't seen him
completely out of nowhere.
Much. Yeah,
completely out of nowhere. But immediately puts me on sleeper watch for Augusta, a guy that has played there really well. I mean,
as you pointed out on a podcast recently, I think I have a fair share of Masters futures. I got to probably.
I'm not talking about outright. I'm not going to bet my Kuchar outright, but as a fifth guy in a DFS lineup, if he's in the low 7Ks, that's definitely of interest with his consistency there. And I mean, all I heard all broadcasts whenever they showed Kuchar was that he was working hard with his coach on his swing. So
yeah, well,
late career surge. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Other new, are we moving on from the leaderboard or anyone else you want to talk about?
I don't think so.
I kind of agree. The other thing that I think drew a lot of attention was this? This was on Friday, the last day of pool play. Kevin Na, 0-2, is playing DJ, who is kind of in the mix with his group with Adam Long and Bobby Mack. And they're on the par 3, and DJ misses his putt 6 inches out, and he just scoops it. Starts walking to the next tee. And I missed this live, and I don't sure if I got the whole picture, but then Kevin Na called him back. I don't know what happened with Kevin Na's kind of 3-footer par putt, but Kevin Na called him back and basically gave like a wag of the finger, like, DJ, just so you know, I didn't give that to you.
Yeah, like I know it's only this long, but I didn't give it to you. Like you gotta wait. You can't just.
And DJ, from his body language, and just kind of seemed like, okay, yeah, sure. And then as they're walking off, Kevin's like, it's all square. It's all square. Like I'm not taking the hole. It's like a push.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I read about this because again I didn't get to see it, but I didn't really get what all of the fuss was about, and I don't know if I missed something. I guess the match got interesting after that. Like they kind of traded a few holes with birdies, and it came down to 18, where of course Na walked one in to win the match, and essentially
Kevin Na lunge.
He essentially eliminated Dustin, I think, with that.
He did, yes.
So. And then he didn't do media. Dustin didn't do media after, so I don't know if he was joked about it, just didn't like losing or what.
And then an hour later, I swear, an hour after his round ended, a tweet comes through: Dustin Johnson, late entry, Valero, Texas Open. Like bizarre.
Yeah, so I don't know. Is like I asked you before, is Kevin Na on the Valero and he just wants another crack at him, or like what's going on?
I don't know. I would have to double check before Augusta. I don't know. So people seem to be very, very heated about this. Like they're either in the Na camp or the DJ camp. You know what? And I don't think there's really anything wrong. The only thing, it did seem like the walk-in on 18 was borderline showboating, but that's also Kevin Na's thing. Like that's his logo.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I think it is showboaty for sure. But it is his thing. I mean, he was right. Kevin Na is right. Like you can't scoop it. It doesn't
unless
matter
there was
how
something
close.
said beforehand, where they're like,
like you can't scoop it. Everybody understands that he's going to make that putt and it's going to be given, but you do need like confirmation.
Just like good. Hey, is this good? Like,
but I mean, I don't know. Again, I didn't see it. I don't know if Kevin like waited to, I'm not gonna give it to him right away and like let's see what he does kind of thing. Like I don't know the scenario, but you're not allowed to scoop it. So I don't know the whole situation about why he called him back or like how to. It was kind of weird, and based on what I had read, it got blown up. I don't really understand why. Like, I don't have strong emotions about it.
I do like. I think it was Billy Horschel, Tommy Fleetwood at one point where like they have that 2-footer to kind of just tie the hole, and so like they mark it, they put the ball down, the guy walks around to the other side. The other competitor comes up, takes a look at how far is it? Is it downhill? It's like the person who has the putt is like stalling, like, okay, I'm gonna look at it from the side. Are you gonna make me line this up? Like, am I really putting this? And then they call, okay, that's good. Like,
they said good.
Yeah, I'll take the coin. Give me the coin.
Yeah.
I think Azinger did not like that. He's like, make him putt it. It's downhill.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said for that too. Like, but these guys are pros. They're gonna make them. For us, we'd be like, is it good? Yeah, good.
Yeah, good. Okay. Anything else with the match play before we move on to some other tour tidbits?
Nothing. I don't think so.
We still have some segments coming up, or a segment or two coming up. So we got a few things to talk about.
All right.
But Corales Puntacana, maybe a win that meant a win that meant way more, I think, to this winner than the winner of the match play.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Joel Dahmen,
out of nowhere.
It's his. Kuchar was out of nowhere. Dahmen has done nothing in 2021.
No. I think he's made like one cut or something, and it was like a 60th place finish at AT&T Pebble, right? Like, he's done nothing. And a guy I've been pulling for a while to get his first win. Like, I was shocked, but so this was the one. This was what I turned on when when I was in between coats of my painting today, and I checked my phone. I was like, oh, Damen's right there. They're on. I think I turned it on when they were teeing up on 16. I don't know if you watched much.
I didn't see. I saw some earlier in the day, but I didn't see much closing stretch.
So 16 is a par 3. No, 17 is a par 3. So they're finishing up 16, and it was brutal. It was playing so hard because of the wind, and like 17, that par 3 is like, it looks like you have to, because of where the wind's coming off the water, you have to like either hit a cut into the wind and try to hold it, or like start it way out over like uncomfortable territory to swing it back in there. So it was, I was really pulling for him to get it done, but I was nervous for him because it's not like it's just it's simple. And he hit some great shots towards the end. Almost chipped in for birdie on the par 3 there after hitting a good tee shot considering. And so the final on the 18th green, it was Campos who was still had a chance if he birdied, and he had birdied I think 18 every day. And he hit a great shot in there. Joel hit a shot. He was pin high, but about 30 feet I think. And Campos hit one above the hole, but maybe 15, 18 feet kind of thing. Yeah. And so he hits his putt, and as it's tracking, he's like got the fist pump like cocked and ready to go, and then it just at the last minute takes a little more turn and lips out, and he just it was. I felt for the guy, because Dahmen had already knocked his up to about 18 inches, and so it was done, but. Pretty dramatic finish. That's what I was pumped.
I mean, these opposite tour events, like just like Corn Ferry Tour event, they mean so much. I mean, they mean so much for the. Speaking of 17, I forget the exact yardage of 17, but I think it's like a 8-9 pitching wedge for these guys, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I did see Thomas Peters chip 5-iron on Saturday.
Really?
Yeah, from the tee box, and people were like, "That is brilliant." That is, and he got like I think to like 15 feet. But it's just like he chipped his 5-iron.
Yeah,
I love it.
I think some of the European players are a little more used to the wind, so maybe that's what you got to do. I don't know. So
the what I saw, I mean, we're recording this just after it kind of came Sunday night, but this is a quote from Joel Dahmen. He said, "I'm hoping it's the first of many more, but I'm going to celebrate like it will be the last one." I saw people calling him like the people's pro, or like he is a man of the people. He's the everyman PGA pro. Awesome.
In interviews with him too, I one of the things that endeared him to me is he speaks very fondly of his time on the Mackenzie Tour up in Canada.
Oh, really?
I think he had a pretty good time when he was playing up here, traveling around. I think there's a few drinks had in those days, and
then there's the video clip of he's out there at some point during the winning celebration, and his hat flew off. Did you see this, Kev?
No, I didn't see it.
His hat flew off, and then Gino his caddy, it's like the hat like flew off over a cliff, and I think it's just like a bunker there. But Gino ran over like he's behind the interview, and Gino pops up and he's like, "I got it."
Well, I guess him and Gino are really good friends. They're really tight. Yeah. And I guess in what I read, he was pretty choked up, and Dahmen was saying how he thought Gino would kind of be the stoic one, and he was he was crying and everything. So long journey for those guys. He's it's a life-changing win.
Well, and even Gino this past week or within the past 10 days had this whole Twitter thread about like how he made it in the first couple years. I think it was after the Mackenzie Tour time where he joined up with Joel Dahmen. And he basically
it was when he started the Corn Ferry Tour is when they
he sent out a tweet like with his like basically revenue from caddying for Joel Dahmen, and he's like, here's how we make, like, everyone wants to know that insight. He just like threw it out there. Like, this is why they're the people, like, people root for them so much. They let you in.
Yeah. I've seen some pretty funny stuff with Gino too. I think he's a pretty good follow on social, from what I understand.
Yeah, I think no, I think that's wrong. Never mind. Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk about this week. I don't know how we have to talk about this guy every week, but Bryson, it's 2021, and Bryson has to put out some NFTs. Kevin, I mean, we haven't even talked about this. It's in the show notes. Kevin, do you know what an NFT is?
I kind of do. I happen to be listening to. I listen to a very boring radio station. People in Canada will know it as CBC. It's very boring on my drive to and from work, just for the news and stuff. And so they were talking about NFTs one day. So I got the gist of it, but yeah, of course Bryson's into NFTs. Like, of course he is.
Of course he is. Also, NFTs. SNL did a great skit last night about NFTs. I think they threw it out on YouTube or Twitter, but it is great. You should check it out.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a digital whatever. It's backed up by the blockchain, so it's one of one or one of however many. And he made these. Here's the thing with it, because from the sports DFS world, it's blowing up with this NBA Top Shot, right? Have you seen these kind of NBA moments? But those are actual like moments, like video clips from the league. This is just Bryson art of him like holding his hands up after the drive and
his
Arnold
different
Palmer.
Victories, yeah. I think they're to mark some of his historic moments.
So it's not an actual PGA thing. It's just
a Bryson thing.
It's an art. It's an art to someone in Bryson's camp or he hired to make. So, yeah, I don't know.
But then they were out for auction.
Yeah.
But then with the auction, you also got like all these other things, like
only on the top, like the
drive one, the power
not the big
one.
Yeah. Yeah, you got like a meet and greet. You got a set of clubs. You got like they're pretty cool stuff, but that's only on one of them.
Yeah.
From everything I saw, it did not go great. I don't think we're gonna get to this segment, but maybe a pie in the face, Kev. What do you call it?
Yeah, maybe. Well, I'll look into that. Craig always is keeping me in check. I can't give Bryson too many pie in the face moments, because he's also like probably one of the best players in the world right now. So
yes,
the things he does are just so, like, you got to, like you say, why are we talking about this guy all the time? It's because he does stuff like this. Like,
and I'm so split, because the more people hate on him, the more I want to defend him. So I've become, like, over the past year, more of a Bryson fan. But some things are hard to defend. Like, I like that he's trying new things. Like, it's hard to be the first person to do it. And sometimes you look really silly. You also look really silly.
Yeah.
So
Do you think he's gonna start requesting to get paid in like a cryptocurrency pretty soon, or what?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean,
if anybody would, it would be Bryson.
It would be Bryson. It for sure would be Bryson. But yeah, just it seemed to fall flat. But hey, he gave it a shot.
He's trying things.
Yeah. Okay, we're not going to go much into our fantasy leagues at all, but I did want to point out that the Goldenbergs won our European Tour Race to Dubai weekly winner. They had Perez as their captain. So you couldn't pick you had to pick a European Tour member, but like still Cantlay was on there, Rom, Sergio, all these guys.
Reed.
Yeah, everyone. Like most of the field is a European Tour member. They went with Perez. Took home the weekly win. Colm Brown is still, I think, in the overall win, so watch out for Colm. And bracket winner, the bracket winner we had on PGAtour.com, I think we got up to 82 entries or so. TP Toledo, 13. Had Scheffler at second, Perez in the 8. Took it home, but man, those brackets were busted pretty early.
Yeah, no, mine was looking pretty shabby, especially after Rom went down there.
I mean, once DJ and Cantlay were out, I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
I think on Friday morning, I was looking at it and I was like, best case scenario, I'm getting half of my guys through. And that's like if things fall my way. Like, this isn't looking good.
And that's why I love match play. It's just chaos. It is chaos. LPGA, Kia Classic. Do you want to...
Yeah, so the Kia Classic, Inbee Park won by 5 shots over Amy Olsen and Lexi Thompson. I don't think it was very... I didn't watch much of it. I didn't watch any of it, really, other than following it a little bit on social.
Yeah.
But didn't look like it was terribly exciting today. She was up, and she kind of just stayed up and played solid today. But like I said, I was following it kind of through the week and the weekend, and I really found myself pulling for Sophia Popov.
Yeah.
She kind of popped, and she's somebody you just can't, after her
totally
open win last year.
Yeah.
And how she was just very much endeared herself, I think, to the golfing fan populace.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really seen much of her. I know she didn't even get status with that because she wasn't.
And she wasn't in the tour finale because it was the Open.
And she didn't have status. So there's all these kind of things. I was like, well, let's get this woman some real status or whatever. Get her a part of the show. We want to see her. So anyway, she shot a 68-68 on Thursday, Friday, but and so she was up there, but unfortunately kind of faltered on the weekend, and I think to a 76-73. So finished T21. Our Canadian girl Brooke kind of flashed there one day. She was looked like she might kind of charge, but again, unfortunately, she kind of faltered towards the end. So but again, you look at that leaderboard, and Danielle Kang was right up there. Nelly Cordo was in the top 10. The women's game is in a good place right now, and sometimes it can be tough to find it.
Yeah,
but pay attention. It's
maybe not till next week. So next week is major ANA Inspiration, first LPGA major of the year.
Nice.
So I think we'll get some good coverage. But also, correct me if I'm wrong, Michelle Wee made a comeback.
Yeah, she did.
This year.
She did. I forgot
this week.
I forgot to see where she was.
I just looked it up. She ended up plus 11.
Oh.
Cut was plus 3. Okay. Not great. Okay. But, Michelle Wee was, we're all kind of 80s kids. She was the phenom.
Yeah.
The phenom of women's golf for a long time.
I saw a really cool thing with her, actually, and I don't know who her playing partner was, but there's a picture of her. She's in 2000. I'm gonna butcher this now, but in 2001 or 2002 or something like that. I think I did
see this.
And she's a 12-year-old came up to me and asked for a picture, and then it's all these years later now, she's my playing partner in round one. That's really cool.
Yeah, and I think she said she was inspired to do this after Tiger's Masters victory, right? Because she wanted her kids to see in person Tiger's kids.
Well, she said seen Tiger and Charlie. So I don't know if that was at the Masters or at the
right. I guess the
father
family
son,
one
or the family thing, whatever it is. Not the father son. Any child.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do 3 stars.
Okay.
3 stars for the week. Tons of golf. 3rd star, Kevin. Adam Svensson.
Canadian.
We haven't even talked about this tournament. The Canadian Corn Ferry Tours Club Car Championship. Let me get that right. Club Car Championship.
Where was it?
Some club. I don't know.
The landing club, the Club Car Championship at the landing club or something.
Yeah. I think that's right. He was way back to start the day. I think he shot a 66. I think he was 4 back to start Sunday. Ended up in a playoff. I had to wait a little bit. Won in a 2-hole playoff.
Nice.
Takes home 100. So he's Canadian, by the way. Surrey, BC. I think he calls hometown. Surrey, BC. Good BC boy like us.
Yeah, right on.
Took home $108K US for the win. That's a pretty nice paycheck for
like 150
someone.
Canadian.
Yeah. I saw an article from Bob Weeks. Kind of Canada's, I don't even know how to put it. Canada's Adam Schefter of golf, would you say? Like,
I guess so. I don't know.
But he had the interview with Adam Svensson, and he said, Adam said that he's basically, I got to quit or I got to get a full team behind me, and he's got a team of committed people, make a real go at it. So this win gives him a good shot. So he's had his PGA card before. He lost it, kind of battling back. Good shot to get a PGA Tour card again for upcoming year.
No, he did flash earlier this year at another event. I can't remember what that was, but anyway, so he got into something and he played really well for a couple days, and I think he kind of fizzled. But his name was up there. I think it was in the PGA Tour event. Anyway, yeah. So where does that put him for the Corn Ferry? Do you have any idea, like where he is in the?
I'm not exactly sure what event that would be. It looks like it's been mostly Corn Ferry for him. He was 8th last week, 34th the week before, 15th the week before. So he's been playing a stretch of top 30s before that to close out 2020. So he's been playing really well.
Good, yeah, right on.
So third star to Adam.
Third star, yeah, right on.
Second star, hey.
Well, I can just see. I mean, he's a Canadian boy. You can just see him coming out of the tunnel, holding his stick up to the fans. I think you third star.
Exactly. Second star, Billy Horschel. I mean, he grinded it out for how many rounds that is, 7, 8 rounds at the end of the day. Got it done. WGC win, one of his biggest wins. He's got that tour championship.
Gets into eighth on the FedEx Cup list, so puts him in a nice position for probably he'll be in the Tour Championship again this year, and
he's been playing well. I mean,
he was right in it there at the concession for a long time.
Yeah. Florida stretch is kind of, I think, his stretch. But two WGCs, second and first.
Yeah, he's shown in the past that if he gets hot, he can get really hot and win a lot. Yeah. That's how he won his FedEx Cup. He kind of came out of nowhere and won it. So, good for him.
A lot of tournaments left in this year if he's running hot.
Yeah.
Some majors.
Yeah, some majors for sure.
First star, we talked about him. I think it's got to go to Joel Dahmen. I'm giving Joel Dahmen the first star. First PGA Tour win.
I like it.
Yeah, like you said, there was no indication that this win was around the corner. In 7 tournaments in 2021, he's made the cut once. It was a 60th, and this was after a pretty great 2020. So he just completely flipped a switch. I don't know what happened, but it worked out for him.
I read that he was dealing with an equipment issue. I don't know what that was, but maybe he doesn't like his equipment. I don't know.
I have no idea. I also read that he went out for 48 hours and that cleared his mind and he was ready to go after that.
Whatever it was. I mean,
got a little foggy for 48 hours and he was clear and good to go after that.
Yeah. Life-changing win though, and like you gotta love seeing that. Especially for a guy like him who is a crowd favorite and is he's an entertainer. You gotta
he is.
You can't help but pull for him. So
he is the Are You Not Entertained? Where did you see that? The US Open?
That was at no, that was, I want to say, was it at Sherwood?
I don't know.
At the CJ
it might
Cup?
have been. Oh, it might have been. One of those were
something like
no
that.
fans, but there's
balconies around. And yeah.
Okay, Kevin, I think that kind of wraps up for the pod. Any last thoughts when Craig's not listening that you want to get off your chest?
Ooh, that's a heavy question. No, I don't think there's much. If Craig was here, we'd probably try to squeeze in a little F1 as the first races today. But you, I know that's going to get shut right down. So
I am vetoing that. No F1 talk. No way. Okay, upcoming Valero Texas Open before the Masters. We have a ton of Masters coming out, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter at Grandstand Golf. But Valero Texas is the tournament next week. We got DJ with the late entry. We also have Corey Connors defending the Monday qualifying win he had in 2019 because 2020 was canceled. Also, we have the ANA Inspiration LPGA Major, so that's going to be great to watch. Thank you everybody for listening. If you're on YouTube, if you're on podcast, if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, leave a comment. If you're on podcast, subscribe, and leave a review. We'll talk about the reviews on the show, so make sure you leave a review, and we will catch you again next week.
Can't wait.
All right, take care, everybody.
Take care.